All right, now let's go back to the rabbit problem. We know that the velocity in the x direction is dx dt. So if we take dx dt, we have a formula, don't we, for the position. So, you know, if memory serves me correct, all right, we're going to take the derivative of, and then let's replace it with a function. I think we had negative 0.31 t squared plus 7.2 t plus 28, I think that's correct. All right, and then we're going to take the derivative of that with respect to the time. Well, this is actually very simple to do with the power rule, so we're going to end up with negative 0.62 t, right? So we take that, multiply it times 2, blah, blah, reduce the exponent, we've got that, plus, we've got t to the first here, so we're going to end up with 7.2. T goes away, and the 28 is gone. So we now have a nice little equation here for the velocity in the x direction. Well, we can also look at the velocity in the y direction. So let's get an equation for that velocity. So Vy is going to be equal to dy dt. So to get the velocity in the y direction, we've got to put in the formula for the y. So I can't remember what it was, 0.22 t squared. So we got 0.22 t squared minus 9.1 t, I think it was plus 30, I do believe, something like that. And that's with respect to time. So let's take the derivative of that. So we're going to get our velocity in the y direction. We're going to know that it's going to end up being 0.44 t. And then we're going to end up with minus 9.1. And then here, because we have no t, we get no respect. So we end up with this nice little equation there for the velocity in the y. We got this nice little equation for the velocity in the x. All right, let me just put a little box around that one. That's a nice one. Very good. And then the same thing goes here. We've got a nice velocity in the x direction. So we can now figure out what the velocity is. So let's look at the velocity vector itself. So if we look, we know that we've got a velocity of negative 0.62 t plus 7.2. Let's pick a time or whatever. We could actually figure out what the velocity is. Let's say, I don't know, I guess I figured out at 15 seconds once again. So let's make that time, once again, 15 seconds. Plug it in here, we can actually figure out what the velocity is in the x direction. So I'd like to take a second, go ahead and figure that out. Put 15 seconds into this equation. Let's find out what Vx is. 15 seconds into this equation, and we would end up, you know, with a variable. So please punch it in and see what you get.